On this side we have all the gauges and timers. In the back here is a pressure gauge. It's agreeable with this. This is more accurate. This is the gauge that is tied to the pressure into the chamber. This is also tied to the pressure in the chamber, but it is not electrically tied. It is an indicator only. Here we have our status lights. As you can see, the power light is on. When you start it up and it begins to heat, it will go through a pressure buildup cycle. Once it gets close to temperature, I have it set for 132, as you can see, and that's where it's at right now. It'll go into the testing mode, and this counter, from whatever you have it set for, will begin to count. And if there's an alarm condition, or when it completes, this alarm light comes on over here. This is your main controller. Your set point is configured in here. This has 132 degrees maximum. And again, I believe I said this is your timer. And this is how you started. When you initially started, I'll show you, there's a circuit breaker in the back to give power to the instrument. You turn this on, everything's ready to go. It's a momentary switch to the on position. It'll fall back to the center position. Again, down here is your pressure display, and this is an automatic start if you wanted to use that. Under here is where you access the chamber. It's under pressure right now, so I cannot open it. It's also, you can see, it's hot. This is your drain valve for when you're completed, and your exhaust valve. So you need to allow the pressure to release first here, and then when you want to drain remaining water out, you use that. In the back, here is your main circuit breaker for power onto the whole instrument. And it does have hookups here for two sensors, an upper and lower sensor for the chamber if you wanted to use an external reading device to measure the difference between the water temperature and the chamber itself. At the bottom, there's your input. This connector here, there is an emergency drain system, so that if there was an overpressure condition, it would shoot out. You can connect that to something or just leave it open. And this is your drain line. I have it just going to a basin, but you might want. This here is the main drain line. I have it just temporarily hooked up going into a basin, but you would hook this up to a main line going to a drain. Do remember that there is steam that would be coming out of here at different times, not just when you're draining it. It does an air escape during the heating process, so you have to be aware that this needs to be always going to a drain. I've gone through the test a couple of times, and it works flawlessly.